making right now solving in the big picture. It just, the concept of voting for that again, voting for Elon Musk essentially to wreck people's lives, I can't do it.
So they're finding out in West Virginia. I have a great one here for you guys today. More people finding out, FAFO, Trump voters that are now regretting their vote. These people in West Virginia, this is not what they asked for. This is my alma mater where I went to university, a very red state. They've been voting for Republicans time immemorial, as long as I can remember. But it looks like a lot of them are turning towards the Democrats now. You are not going to want to miss this video. Let's go ahead and watch it. Like, subscribe, and share. The Spin Cycle's here to compile this news for you so you don't have to.
No kings, no tyrants! No kings, no tyrants! No kings, no tyrants! No kings, no tyrants!
Well, when we found out that President Trump was running for president again this term, we immediately went out and bought a flag because we are huge Trump supporters, questioning what's happening right now, obviously. Individuals started receiving notice on Monday that they were going to have an appointment for termination on Wednesday. Tuesday morning comes.
Okay, so she's a big Trump supporter. She found out he was running in 2024. Like, who didn't know he was going to run? It was the only way he was going to stay out of prison. But she went out and bought herself a flag, cheering him on wholeheartedly. And she lost her job and her livelihood.
And we were informed that, hey, if you didn't get the email on Monday, you're safe. And I'm like skipping down the halls, right? Like, I get to stay. And Wednesday late afternoon, I received a notice that I have an appointment, a Teams appointment with my supervisor on Friday at 9 o'clock. So I knew that I wasn't safe anymore. Oh my gosh, yeah, Nathan, that's like the hardest part for me, honestly, because I'm a wonderful worker. Any job that I've ever had, I feel like you should do everything unto the Lord, and I do. And to be sitting here today and know that that follows me, that I was fired for performance-based in any manner. I have wonderful reviews every year of my employment. I literally just had my last review in January, and it was outstanding. When you lose an income, it's painful. We've had conversations about what our future looks like. We have, as you can tell, we have a small home. But my husband and I have said if we need to downsize and get a one-bedroom home or even a one-bedroom apartment, we'll do it.
We have a small home and we're poor, but we vote for billionaires because we think they're good businessmen. Make it make sense.
Whatever we have to do. But it's hard. It's wrecking. The common theme is, we voted for this. And our friends that didn't vote the same, there's always that back and forth conversation now. It's like, you knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives, but other people that we love and care about too within the Mid-Ohio Valley. Cutting costs and waste and fraud and we love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, we were excited about that because
she loved that big picture until it turns out that she was the waste and the fraud they were cutting.
It is true. But again, I can't help but go back to the fact that what is the decisions that you're making right now solving in the big picture? It just, so the concept of voting for that again, voting for Elon Musk essentially to wreck people's lives, I can't do it. We see the effects of what a decision like this can do, the relapse that can take place, the lack of trust. I mean, if you can't trust your president and your vice president to do what they said they were going to do, which is protect us, protect the veterans, love the veterans, support them, then it leaves you in a really, really ugly place in your thinking.
But you're so stupid. How many times did Trump say he loves veterans, and then he said they're losers and suckers for dying in wars, and he's a draft dodger himself? I mean, all the evidence was there. You just had to look it up. Project 2025. You say that they they didn't say they were going to do this, but they did say they were going to do this. You just weren't paying attention. You weren't. This is the problem with propaganda and billionaires putting all this money into buying Twitter and all these propaganda networks that just feed this poison, especially into low information voters like this. Low information, to be honest, ignorant, low education voters. I mean, I lived in West Virginia for 10 years. I know how people are there, and they watch Fox News. That's where they get their information. Now, I haven't lived there in a decade or so, but I'm sure they're still watching plenty of Fox News. But probably now it's Newsmax and Twitter and Joe Rogan and his Billionaires Club podcast.
People are afraid to go and open their email. Like one email, one instance can change the trajectory of your entire life.
Right.
And it's, in my opinion, it's abuse. It's emotional abuse. Yeah, absolutely. I feel a little bit betrayed. And to be honest, I don't know like what I would do if we knew what we know today and the vote was tomorrow. I don't know what I would do because of my morals, but I just don't think I could do it again. I don't think I could vote for President Trump again, knowing that.
But could you vote for him again if you weren't fired and just, the people of color, the LGBTQ, and those type of people were fired? Then you'd be okay with it? This is the main thing with these conservatives. It's okay if it happens to thee, but when it happens to me, I'm upset about it.
This has happened and the impact it's had on the American working class.
Fewer people randomly, arbitrarily cutting federal employees is the last thing that we need. We were short-staffed to begin with. We do the important work that keeps this government functioning.
So really just kind of all of a sudden, within maybe like a day's notice, I was basically told that tomorrow is your last day of duty, based on, they say, performance, which was clearly a big lie. It's a disgrace. I almost feel like, so much for serving my country all these years, we literally get slapped in the face with no explanations as to really why we got let go. Just thousands of lives are turned upside down. Nobody
The term reap what you sow comes to mind.
really seen this coming. Even the people that did probably vote for Donald Trump. Elon Musk has basically taken over our government and has calling the shots, unfortunately, it seems to be. And now they're basically denying our unemployment compensation claims. So they're starving us out at the same time. How am I going to pay my bills? I feel like everybody really needs to do their homework a lot more in depth next time, come voting time, to really try to.
What about this time? Why didn't you do your homework this time? Next time might be too late. What are you going to do then? And I'm not surprised you can't get unemployment in West Virginia. I worked for a nonprofit there, and I was laid off because of the nonprofit went out of business. And I went to the unemployment office, and they said, well, you can't get unemployment if you work for a nonprofit. I don't think that would happen in Colorado, where I live currently, because it's a blue state, but I'm not sure. But I know that Colorado and the blue states, Maryland, they're going out of their way to get the fired federal workers good unemployment compensation. But West Virginia is the type of state, I lived in Montana too, it's also the type of state where, they kick you when you're down. Like in Montana, if you would defaulted on your student loans, which I was at one time, because I lost that very job I was talking about, it was my first federal job, they revoke your driver's license if you default on your student loans. I don't know if they changed that law. That was 15 years ago, but it's just insane.
Try to figure out who these people are deep down inside, because they fool you a lot. They get in office, they don't do the things they said they was going to do or promise the people.
Yeah, foolish fools get fooled. So I feel sorry for you. You lost your job, but I also think you're an idiot at the same time. So there's that.
I'm out here today because the unlawful termination of the probationary employees here at the Bureau of the Fiscal Service is a devastating loss to our community. This is one of the only places in this area where you can get a consistent, well-paying job. So many people around here depend upon this. Families, I mean, some
Just let me say there's a lot of good people in West Virginia, and I have a feeling because they didn't go ahead and write under this guy's name that he voted for Trump, that he probably didn't vote for Trump, but listen to what he says. He's got some good points, and you could tell he's a thoughtful, intelligent man.
some husbands and wives work together there. It's going to be a devastating economic loss to our community. And I'm here also because it was done by under this false pretense that Donald Trump and Elon Musk and this fictitious entity Doge, this unlawful entity Doge, has any actual interest in rooting out government waste, fraud, and abuse. They're the only ones committing those things. They are the only ones committing those things. They have no capability, no actual interest in finding those things. It's a pretext for their unlawful expansion of executive power. It's destroying this country, and it's especially destroying this state and this city.
Yep, that's what I've been saying. The Unitarian theory is what all these right-wing billionaires are into. They want a CEO of the country who has unlimited power, has no checks and balances from the courts. And that's what Trump is trying to do. And Elon Musk wants that too, so he could fire all the regulators who regulate SpaceX, who had another rocket blow up the other day over the United States and scattered debris all over the place. He doesn't want to be regulating that stuff. He doesn't want, one of his SpaceX operations, I think in Arizona or something, was killing a bunch of birds, nesting area. And he got mad that the EPA was calling him out on it, and he got fined for it and stuff. So first thing he did was go after the EPA. So you need to educate yourself and learn this. This guy is obviously educated about it. Nebraska, West Virginia, Colorado, where I live, the right wingers are finding out. They effed around, and now they're finding out. They're losing their jobs. It wasn't just going to happen to people they don't agree with. It wasn't just going to happen to the liberals or the libtards, as they call us. Thanks for watching, guys. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and share. I'll see you next time.
Elon Musk, he bought himself a president.